Enormous honour. You know, really, I never expected to be made a Dame of the British Empire. I never expected to win an Oscar. And I never expected to be made Woman of the Year by the Hasty Pudding Club. So, you know, I'm ticking them off, you know. Really fantastic honour and, of course, an enormous pleasure and fun. Really, really fun. I was told it would be fun, and it is. Oh, well, you know, I've always loved a parade. And I never got to be the queen of any parade, so it was fantastic to be the queen of a parade at this end of my life. You know, usually it's the sort of thing you get to do when you're 18 years old. So that was fantastic. Great to see the show, which we just saw. I loved that. Very, very funny, right up my alley. Actually, that sounds like one of the lines from the show, doesn't it? It's a sort of line they'd use in some way or other, right up my alley. But no, really, really great, and it's been wonderful ever since we arrived last night. You know, really spoiled.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our 2014 Woman of the Year, Dame Helen Mirren.
Our Woman of the Year is the only British actress not in the Harry Potter series. Still, she made up for it by starring in the almost as good fantasy classic Legends of the Guardian, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Our Woman of the Year is known for her dynamic range. In The Queen, she played a queen.
In The Madness of King George, she played a queen.
In The Snow Queen, she played a queen.
In Egypt, she played a queen.
In Caligula, she played an empress, which is like a Roman queen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your 2014 Woman of the Year, Dame Helen Mirren!
Thank you so much, Helen. We are thrilled to have you here. How have you enjoyed your time at Harvard so far?
Horrible. What a ghastly experience. I mean, honestly.
Me too,
Awful.
me too.
Is charades.
Okay.
You will have to get the queens to guess what your clues are without uttering a peep. Are you ready?
Oh, I guess I have to be ready. Yes, okay.
All right, excellent.
The queens are very silent so far. So what they can do, is it? Okay, sure.
Here is your first clue.
Oh, Big Ben. Ah. Mm-hmm.
Digging.
do it.
I've got to find another way around it.
Question number 1. Who is the hottest actor Helen Mirren hath ever worked with?
Thank you, Bill. The answer is Nick Cage, clearly.
Not quite, Nick. Helen.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
That is correct! What is the craziest thing Helen hath done after a few drinks?
The game of Boggle.
I really hope that's wrong.
What's Boggle? Boggle?
It's a blast.
I played a bugle.
Oh, that is correct!
On your mark, get set, fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2014 Woman of the Year, Dame Helen Mirren.
In the middle, yeah. Good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyler Lewis. I'm the press manager of the Hasty Theatricals. On the other end of the table is Alex Marshanu, one of the producers of this year's show, Victorian Secrets. And in the middle, we are thrilled and honored to welcome our 2014 Woman of the Year, Dame Helen Mirren.
They're cynical press. They don't
yeah,
clap, you know. They don't applaud. Okay, let's get on with it.
Yeah. So the way it's going to work is each reporter will have a chance to ask one question, and we will continue until the allotted time is up or until we're out of questions. And we just ask that you use the microphone and state your name and affiliation. And we'll start with the Crimson.
All right. Hi, my name is Brandon McGregor. I'm from the Harvard Crimson, and my question is, who would win in a fight, you or Meryl Streep?
What kind of a fight? You know, what you mean, literally a physical fight? Meryl would win definitely. I think she's sort of generally bigger and stronger and mentally probably stronger than I am. I'd give in very quickly. I go, Meryl, whatever you say. So, yes, I would say Meryl all the way, actually, come to think of it, any kind of a fight.
Thank you.
Hi there. So I'm Mark Shanahan with the Boston Globe. It's a treat to be here today. There's always a lot of talk about roles for women of a certain age.
Love that phrase.
You have
certain
whatever.
age. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Over 25,
I think I might
over
be that
35,
age.
over 45, over 55, over 65.
I might be that age myself. You have managed to have quite a remarkable career from beginning to now. To what? So that's not been a problem. What has been the secret?
I don't think it's anything to do with me. I think it's to do with the way the world has changed. And I always said, and I have always said, and I still continue to say, that you don't worry about roles for women in drama. You worry about and militate for roles for women in life. And if there are great roles for women in life in the world, in the professional world, in the world of politics, as night follows day, there will be great roles for women in drama. So I think that's what has changed, is that roles for women in life really have changed and pushed forward. And now when we see talking heads on television, you know, there's an earthquake in Indonesia and there's an earthquake expert on television, often, it's a woman there talking. Certainly when I was in my teens, that would not have been the case. So, the roles for women in life have changed substantially and are changing rapidly. And I think that I am the beneficiary of that to a certain extent. And just, lucky, really.
Hi, Helen. I'm also a reporter from the Crimson. What is your spirit animal and why?
Well, I'm not into sort of spirits and stuff like that. I'm very, what's the word? You're clever Harvardy people. What's the word that I'm looking for? I'm very not into spirits. I'm very pragmatic, if that's the right word. But if I was to have a spirit animal, gosh, I would like to say a sloth, because I'm so incredibly lazy, really, essentially very lazy. My favorite animal is a rhinoceros. So maybe I'll have my spirit animal as a rhinoceros.
Or a hybrid of the two.
Yeah. Slothful rhinoceros. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Helen. I'm Megan Johnson, People Magazine.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you, who are you rooting for this year at the Oscars, since you already have one? Do you have any friends or films that you're specifically rooting for?
I have to say I'm rooting for 12 Years a Slave because I think it's an amazing film. I think it's an important film. I think it's a beautifully made film. And, the Oscars are such an incredible way of bringing people's attention to a movie. And Gravity, for example, and American Hustle are both brilliantly well-made movies. Quite extraordinary, spectacular achievements. But the advantage that it would bring to a movie like 12 Years a Slave in terms of the kind of audience it would then get post-Oscar, it would really help that movie. It would help expand its audience, and I do believe that that a lot of people should see that movie.
Hi, Helen. I'm Sarah from the Harvard Gazette.
Oh, yeah.
I have a bit of a weird question because I was ill-prepared, but are you a big Beyoncé fan? And what advice do you have for all the single ladies out there?
I am a big Beyoncé fan. I think she's quite extraordinary. I had the great opportunity of being on the same stage as her, not at the same time, but I was in the wings waiting to go on because I was on later. It was at the Kennedy Center Honors. And she was performing. And so I had the experience of being in the wings with her, kind of watching her prepare for her performance and realizing this incredible sense of concentration and energy and preparation that she had before she went on stage. And I was very impressed by that. And then standing in the wings watching her, just an explosion of energy and just quite spectacular and very inspiring. So yes, big Beyoncé fan. My advice for single women, probably stay as single as long as you can. I love you, darling, my husband. But, you don't, but a relationship is a wonderful thing, but it's not an absolute necessity for a happy and successful life. Don't worry if you don't have it. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Helen. Kara from Sun Media. Hi there.
Hi.
So we were able to see the stage on the screen up here, and it looked like you were having a blast.
Yeah, that was.
So I have
yes, it's always, surrounded by very funny, clever people. It's always a little bit intimidating. But I wasn't exactly nervous, but you never feel quite quick enough. Mm-hmm.
Well, it seemed like you had a great time, and you were ready for anything. So two-part question, actually. Did you know? Were you kind of prepared? Did you know what you were getting into when you came to the awards?
No, I knew obviously there would be a roast. Although that was very nice, kind roast, I have to say. The rest of the program I was completely unprepared for. I didn't know anything about that, so that came as a surprise. Yeah.
And then here's my second question. Was that your first twerk?
I've tried in my bedroom, in private, in front of the mirror, very unsuccessfully. So absolutely humiliating to have to do it in public in front of a whole load of people. But I obviously couldn't get out of it. It was an inevitable end to the whole proceedings.
Hi, Helen. Tyro Man with Tyro TV.
Yes.
Is there a role you haven't played yet that you would like to play?
I'd love to play Catherine the Great of Russia, yet another queen, empressy person. And I actually, I have played a lot of queens, but I've also played a lot of housekeepers and cleaning ladies and wives and all kinds of other roles. But I think Catherine the Great of Russia was such an extraordinary person, powerful, obviously incredibly powerful, incredibly intelligent. I would have to play her later on in her life, but she had such an extraordinary life. That would be an interesting one.
You found the roast kind. If you were going to roast yourself, what would you say?
If I was to
roast yourself.
Roast myself, oh gosh, that's tough. I think I don't know what to say. I don't know. I would question some of my choices, but I think that was pretty well questioned today. Because as an actor, you do a project and you just have no idea how it's going to end up. You have no idea, and some of my choices as an actress have been kind of a little bit venal, financial rather than anything else. And I think I'd roast that side of the loss of one's ideology, because as you Harvard students, and that's what's great being here, being in a world where is so full of optimism and possibility. That the future is all about possibility. And when you're at my end of life, it's no longer about possibility. It's more about the possibilities that you lost, or the opportunities that you lost, or you messed up, or you missed out on, or so. I think I would roast my own loss of ideology, which I think is a natural process. Incidentally, I don't think that's unnatural. You do start off life full of idealism, and dreams and purity, and life is in a way a process of losing that or becoming more realistic, more pragmatic. So I think I would have given myself a harder time about that.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm with the Evie Awards at Emerson College. And I just wanted to know, what advice can you give to students about the importance of remaining unique when entering the entertainment industry?
I mean, the entertainment industry is a huge industry with so many different elements to it, from the... from being an animator, to being a catering person, to being a transport person, to being a casting person, to being a writer, to being obviously an actor. There's so many. So you look at those credits nowadays. I mean, I was watching Gravity, and the credits are just incredible. And you see an endless row of names, and every single one of those names had a contribution to make to the making of this movie. And the only names that we really know, are Sandra Bullock, George Clooney, and Alfonso Cuarón, who was the filmmaker. But there are all those other people, and they're all making a living in the film industry. So I think that's the first thing for people to be aware of, is that incredible variety of work available in that particular. And you said the entertainment industry. Now we're going also into music, into television. It's an enormous industry. So I think in terms of being unique in that, I'm not quite sure that that is really what you need to be. I think what you need to be is incredibly hardworking and very, very committed to, and just to be more hardworking than the guy or the girl, standing next to you, and then you will always be noticed, always. But it's a very, very, in all of those different manifestations of the industry, it's very challenging because it is very competitive and at the same time it's quite insecure. It is an industry where unemployment is always just around the corner. So you have to also have the mental strength to deal with that, So I'm not quite sure that uniqueness is really what's required. I think there are other qualities that are more important. Mm-hmm.
Is that the end of the questions?
Okay, guys, are we done?
Okay. We'll take some pictures with the pot.
Yes, absolutely. Pictures with the pot. Yes, I'd love that. Thank you. If he doesn't mind. I think we should stand in front of here. Our little pot, guys. Our little pot. Okay.
Just you kissing the pot.
Yes, kissing the pot. You like that? I knew you'd like that.
This direction, if you want, please.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your tumult.
Well, a song about never saying never and never being told what you can or cannot do. This is one of us. Before I got to fighting, or when fighting got to me, I looked to find examples on the field of chivalry, and I saw mighty arms, much stronger than my arms could ever be. So I thought perhaps that field was not for me. But still I stayed and watched the fighting, till one figure stood apart, in armor newly fashioned, and a helm more pot than art. But each blow was thrown with honor and the lightness of the heart. So I took that step which soon became a start. 'Cause she was not the biggest fighter, nor one to raise a fuss, but I remember being proud that she was one of us. And we might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride. She was ladylike and lively, not the type you would expect, with a braver heart than many and a slot shot to respect. And I guess she'd once decided this was where she'd like to be, and I thought if she could do it, why not?